New action film starring Jessica Chastain, Lupita Nyong'o, Penelope Cruz, Diane Kruger. Sounds awesome. Who's directing it? God, no.
I like the new team.
We're the 355.
The 355 is the new action spy film from director Simon Kinberg, who gave us everyone's favorite X-Men film, Dark Phoenix, and it stars the aforementioned ladies along with people like Bingbing, Edgar, Ramirez, Sebastian Stan. Jessica Chastain plays a CIA agent named Mace, who gets sent on a mission to recover this encryption device. Now, that's this movie's MacGuffin, this encryption device, and it's a device that someone has invented that is capable of shutting down any digital system on Earth, so basically it could end the world, because every single action movie now has to be about the end of the world. The stakes can never be lower than that because we peaked 20 years ago and now that's all any action film's allowed to be about, the end of the world. I digress. Mace gets sent on this mission along with her partner, played by Sebastian Stan, and the mission goes wrong for whatever reason. They get separated, and then it results in Mace having to go rogue and encountering some other female agents from agencies around the world. And yeah, it pretty much just becomes about these agents banding together, having to learn how to get along and work together, and then stopping this MacGuffin. And I've probably made it sound a lot more fun than it is, because this movie is awful. Yes, it's a January release, so that's to be expected. But my God, this honestly is just about worse than anything I saw in 2021. So 2022 is not off to the greatest start. 355 is awful. The action choreography, as soon as the first action scene of the film started, I was like, oh God, what have I done? Like, I went to see this alone. I didn't even have a friend to make fun of it with. It was just 2 hours of pain. And I say this being a huge fan of pretty much the entire cast. And that's not to say they're bad. It's just that the script for this film is so awful that they can't. There's nothing they can do. There's nothing anyone could do to save this film. But yeah, back to that action. It's just that like choppy, incompetent, where they obviously had no idea what they were doing. So let's just shoot everything from every angle and get all the coverage and edit it together into this blobby mess. So the choreography might have been good. I didn't see any of it, but it might have been good. It's just that quick cut. Let's cut every half second and like, you know, cross the line. And so you have no idea where you are at any point, and like it's just random close-ups of shit, blah, 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 blah. It's pretending to be frenetic when it's actually just incoherent. It's like Mile 22 or the Brian Mills jumps a fence scene, that infamous moment from Taken 3. And the narrative doesn't fare much better. Most of the characters are just empty stereotypes with zero personality. So yeah, the only two people who come out of this really actually behaving and looking like actual human beings that are relatable and dramatically interesting are Lupita Nyong'o and Penelope Cruz. Penelope Cruz's character is a psychologist who kind of just gets dragged into it through circumstance. So she's very uneasy about the whole thing, and it's about her sort of coming to terms with the mission. While I don't maybe love the way they resolved her character's arc, she gives a genuinely phenomenal performance alongside Lupita Nyong'o, who's an old friend of Mace's, and she comes along on the mission. She's an MI6 agent, and just those two really add some dramatic heft to this thing. Not that there's a lot of like dramatic heft in the narrative, but there's one specific moment between those two characters where they really have to let loose with emotion. And for a part of you in that scene is like, God, why wasn't the actual movie good? Because like these two are so powerful. Diane Kruger is also quite good. She's more stoic, but she's very badass, very entertaining. And Jessica Chastain, who like, I'm a huge fan of hers. So like, don't take this with anything other than love, but she was not very good here. I don't know if I can really buy her as an action star the way she's trying to turn her career in that direction. And I know she was really passionate about this film and was kind of responsible for helping to get it made and funded and insisted on having Simon Kinberg direct, which just, man, if anything's going to make me question your judgment, it's that. Like, I'm sure he was a great guy and great to be around on set, but he quite clearly doesn't know what he's doing from a directing standpoint. He's obviously had a lot of success as a producer and a writer, but like, whew, I don't know, man. But yeah, Chastain, I'm a big fan of hers. Actually going to see The Eyes of Tammy Faye right after this, so I'm very excited for that. But just this one was not one of her best roles. These eyes. Sebastian Stan too, who I'm a big fan of, and I know he hasn't done a ton of film stuff outside of the MCU, but I think he's fantastic in I, Tonya. He phoned it in here. He was crap. He's not in it a ton until towards the end of the film, but he's just, he's one note. He's very one note in this. And Fan Bingbing, one, looks like she was digitally inserted into all her scenes and just isn't very good either. She delivers everything with the same tone and facial expressions. It's just, she adds nothing to the film. And that brings me to the third act, which is, of course, set in China because it is a modern action blockbuster that needed funding. So, of course, some of it's set in China to appease the Chinese investors. And look, don't take this as me shitting on multiculturalism. We need more diversity in action movies. It's fucking awesome. But this film uses China as set dressing and it's exoticizing it. There's no plot reason that it has to go there. It's just, you know, it's like this and Skyscraper and like all these like middling action movies that are so obviously pandering to the Chinese market. So that kind of took me out of it as well. Yeah, there's honestly not really much I can take away from the 355 and I'm kind of sick of talking about it already. It felt like a chore to get through. The only one thing I will say is that it made me feel nostalgic for, you know, around like 2017, 2018, when I used to just go see every film alone, no matter how bad I knew it would be, just for the sake of it. I miss those days, you know? Made me feel like a kid again in that regard. But anyway, the 355 gets a 1.5 out of 10. Truly awful, irredeemable stuff. This kind of movie can be done well. The people want to see women kicking ass. Gunpowder Milkshake, I would cite as a great example of a film like this from last year that got it right. This one just felt like it was kind of trying too hard and it felt like it was written by someone who has actually never spoken to a woman before and this is just their idea of what strong female characters are. So that is it for my review of the 355. I wouldn't really recommend it unless you're a completionist or if you just really, really love the cast, but I'll say I really, really love the cast and even that wasn't able to save it for me. So yeah, thank you for watching. Stay tuned. There'll be more reviews coming. I'm going to be reviewing every 2022 release and, you know, maybe a few of the 2021 holdover late ones that I'm seeing, but I'm going to save a lot of those to talk about on my best films of the year list, which should be coming in probably around 3 weeks once I've seen everything. I'm getting pretty close. Have a great day.